A waiver of disclosure is a form that homeowners can sign in the state of Alaska when they're selling their homes. And it states that a seller doesn't know of any defects or issues about the property. But it's not exactly a get out of jail free card for any known defects about the property. Hey there, it's Justin Heminger with Apex Realty Group at Real Broker here in Fairbanks, and we've been helping folks buy and sell real estate in Fairbanks for over 10 years. So if you ever have any questions about Fairbanks real estate, buying or selling homes, or just Fairbanks in general, you can drop them down in the comments below, or you can give us a call at 907-885-0316. Let's get into talking about waiver of disclosures. So in the state of Alaska, sellers are still legally required to disclose any kind of known defects or issues with the property that could affect definitely its value or the property's safety. This definitely includes things like leaky roofs, faulty foundations, or the presence of lead-based paint. Lead-based paint's kind of a big one. If you know of any presence of lead-based paint or lead-based paint hazards, you absolutely need to disclose that. And failure to disclose those issues can result in legal issues, and those don't even have to happen right away. It could take place years down the road. Buyers can find things out years down the road and absolutely take those issues to court. So even if a seller and a buyer have both signed the waiver of disclosure, a seller can still be held liable for failing to disclose things that they absolutely knew about. For example, if a seller knew about an electrical issue and didn't disclose it, and then the buyer finds out later that the seller knew about that issue, just as I said, the buyer can absolutely take that seller to court and seek recompense or compensation for damages or any kind of repairs should there have been those. And in the state of Alaska, they get 3 times the damage. So it absolutely pays to over-disclose. It's also important to remember that the waiver or a failing to disclose doesn't necessarily limit itself to just physical defects. It can be about anything about the property. So issues regarding zoning or outstanding building permits or zoning violations, those are still things and material facts that a seller could know about the property. And those could absolutely affect the ability to sell the property in the future. And if a buyer finds out years down the road that their property or the seller knew about these material facts, they can follow up with legal action in the future. Again, better to over disclose than to find out about it later every time. Thinking about moving to Fairbanks? Well, click on the link below for my free relocation guide where I talk about top schools, top neighborhoods, and so much more. One other big one, in addition to zoning violations or potential zoning violations, is the existence of property being in a flood zone. If you know that your property is in a flood zone, disclose that it's in the flood zone. That's something that your realtor should absolutely help you out with as well. But disclosing ahead of time that your property is in a flood zone could absolutely affect its value. It affects the insurance rates and your buyer's ability to qualify for the property. There are a lot of checks and balances along the way that should prevent a buyer from being able to get all the way to the closing table without somebody figuring out, whether it's the buyers, the listing agent, the underwriter, the appraiser, somebody finding out ahead of time that the property's in a flood zone. But in the event that everyone finds out later, hey, the seller knew ahead of time that this property was in a flood zone, I would hate to be on the receiving end of that. So again, if you know about it, just disclose it. You're never going to get in trouble for for telling the truth ahead of time. So in conclusion, it is always better just to tell the truth and disclose, over disclose. It's just going to save you so much time and so much of a headache and so much money in the future. If you know about a material defect or a material fact, issues with the property, just write it down on the forms. There's like a 13-page long disclosure form that we're gonna have to go over anyway. It's pretty thorough, so answer the questions honestly and everyone will be better for it. If you ever have any questions about the waiver of disclosure or the disclosure forms or selling your home, buying a home, what these forms mean, what they say, and how to interpret them, absolutely give us a call. Our phone number is 907-885-0316. You can also reach us at fbxhomesearch.com. Thank you so much and have a great day.